Good morning and welcome to another demonstration of StraytWay in an airplane setting. So as usual, we're going to do that through a link between StraytWay and Microsoft Flight Simulator. So StraytWay thinks it's in the airplane, and that's the best way to demonstrate it. So what we've got in StraytWay on the left of your screen there, we see our current position, and we are at, let's see, let's enter. So got StraytWay on the phone. Let's enter where we are. We are at Gillette, at the Northeast Wyoming Regional Airport. And why are we here? Because we're gonna fly to Devil's Tower, the iconic landmark of close encounters of the third kind. Famous sci-fi movie of the 70s, Spielberg movie. And so we're gonna fly to Devil's Tower, and then we're gonna land somewhere in the neighborhood. So the first thing we're gonna do is, we're here in Wyoming, so it must be somewhere here. Let's see. Our destination airport will be Hulett, here. So this will be our destination airport, and Devil's Tower will be here. There you are. Why don't we put a marker right away on Devil's Tower? So right in the middle, zoom all the way in. You can see it's an elevation of 1,558 meters. Put a marker there, and then we're gonna head over to the airport again, to Hulett, and we'll be landing to the well, we got a bit of we'll put a marker there, so right away let's get back to our current position. We're taking off to the southwest. Look at the where it says no citation. There it is, the wind sack. So there's a wind blowing from the southwest. Microsoft doesn't have a meteo. It's real weather. It's real-time weather. But Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't have a wind or a barometer for this airport, nor for the destination airport. So we're gonna guesstimate that. And we're gonna use can use a StraytWay for that. So I'll show you. Let's head over to the cockpit. If you go, see at the bottom left of StraytWay of the screen, you see 4,322 feet. That's our current altitude. So where we are. So in other words, it's the elevation of the airport in GPS calculated feet. So we're gonna set that to 4,322. Sorry. There we are, and that would be a good approximation for the destination airport, because it's not it's 100 nautical miles away, I think, something like that. Anyway, we'll see. Let's head over back to our destination airport. So we put a marker there, remember, so it's easy to find it back. But we're gonna do away with that marker. Just selected to do away with it, because we're gonna put two markers on the runway to allow StraytWay to fly, to navigate to the airport. And well, I assume we're gonna land to the southeast, given the wind. It'll be kind of neutral. So what we're gonna do is, so we're coming in from the northwest. Then this will be our inactive threshold, and that's important. So first you put a marker on the inactive threshold, like so. And then you put a marker on the active threshold. So, and now we've got our 2 markers. We've got to make a route of it. First waypoint at the inactive threshold, and then the second waypoint at the inactive threshold. Now we've got ourselves a little route. Look at the top, 2, 1 and 2. So 1, this is 1, and this is 2, and our target line points to the selected waypoint. All done, except for the elevation of the destination airport. And we can also use StraytWay for that. We can change maps. This is our elevation map. And then we get, this is 1,280? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, there's another one. 1,280 meters. But no worries. I'm gonna use the calculator, the VFR calculator in StraytWay. Just go to the navigation screen. Make sure this is selected, so this should be magenta, and then put your waypoint selector on the last waypoint of the route, which is number 2. In other words, the active threshold, and then click on the 322, the magenta, and that will reverse the course, and that's required to make the VFR calculator available, because now indeed the small magenta plane has appeared. Click on it, and we've got our runway elevation in meters. We should, how much was it again? 1,280, I think it was, in meters. And our pattern altitude, we can enter it in feet. Let's say 1,500, pretty standard for a Cessna citation. And now we've got a pattern altitude calculation of 6,099, so we can round it up to 6,700. I'm just gonna check if our pattern altitude was correct. 1,280, yeah. Got it back. So 1,280, 1,500, and our pattern altitude will be 5,699, and we keep that as the altitude. We're going to keep that as our cruise altitude for the entire length of the trip. Okay, so now we're all set. The only thing we need to do is put in that altitude in the barometer is already set, so we're gonna put that into our autopilot. So 5,700. There you go, 5,700. Yep, like so. Let's make our flight level change 230 knots. That's our takeoff or a climb speed. I know it should be 140, but I like to climb slowly, change our heading. This is all just programming the autopilot's heading box set. I'm going to select it, and then the nav, we won't need that because we're not going to use the FMS of the citation. We're going to use StraytWay to fly to Devil's Tower. And now we only need to put back to the map. Gonna change back to the other map. So here we are, and we're gonna put our targets not on the runway but on Devil's Tower. Just do that by clicking the flag in the top right corner. Now our target is set to Devil's Tower. And that's at only 38 nautical miles. Will be there in a jiffy. Let's take off. I've got flaps 15, and the rest is all set, I think. This is not a flight instruction lesson, but let's try it as smooth as possible. So you see right now we are at a heading of what this changes. If I turn the phone, then you should see the you should see the arrow move, because it now just uses the magnetic compass of your phone. But as soon as we start moving, it switches to GPS calculations, which are true north and very accurate. So we'll ignore that for now because it's not accurate, because we are not in a real plane. But the magnetic, the true north will be. So let's head off, start moving, and see what the yellow needle, which points to Devil's Tower, what it'll do. Just make sure. Look at my pedals set the right way, and brakes release, and full power. Will be a short climb to our cruising altitude. And we'll rotate at about 110, 113. Rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Flaps up.
Altitude.
And I'm gonna switch to autopilot already, and let Cessna do the flying. Climb power. And there we are. I'm reducing power, otherwise we'll get a lower speed. So that was short. Now look at the StraytWay. We need to turn to the left, less than 180 degrees. So I'm gonna do that now. Just take the heading bug of the autopilot and don't put in the exact difference, just visually put in about the same angle. Just so, turn it visually, like so. And then we'll do the fine-tuning later on. So we're initiating our turn. And that must be a Gillette. Wow. There's some terrain ahead. That's the only thing we're gonna use navigation-wise of the Cessna. That's the terrain map. Make sure we don't hit any mountains, but I don't think it's flat. It's high, but it's flat, the terrain here. That's Gillette, the best a man can get. Wow. I'm not sure in the real world we would be allowed this speed, but I'm gonna do it fly anyway at this level, because then you get to see more of the landscape on our way to Devil's Tower. Look at StraytWay. We're about to stabilize on the bug. It's a fine day. It's I said it's real weather. It's we're in winter, and okay. So we've stabilized at true north of 68. Track of 68. Which our bearing is 62 Devil's Tower. So we should turn 8 degrees to the left. I'm gonna do that now. Sorry. So just tap in 8 degrees to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Already dropped to 59, so I'm gonna add one more. And slowly we're wow, there's a lot of mining going on here. Impressive. Yeah, I think this altitude is gonna keep us safe all the way to Devil's Tower, and it'll be a spectacular approach. There's some terrain ahead, but green is still okay. Look at the StraytWay. We are flying straight to Devil's Tower, and we'll be there in 6 minutes. Yeah. Once we're there, we're gonna take some pictures, and then we'll head over to Hulett Airport. Its official identifier is W43, I think. Cool. There are some huge mountains in the background. I wonder what those are. You can see that on StraytWay. So if you go to the map view, you zoom out, and you change perhaps to the mountain map. So we're looking kind of from this angle. So it should be these mountains, which are, yeah, these, or perhaps these. And those are the foothills of the Rockies. They must be. Great. Sheridan buildings. Of course, Yellowstone is here somewhere. But we're flying to Devil's Tower, so this is our. This is where we are now. Just click on the to centralize. And you see a track. And once we're there, I'm gonna reduce speed because otherwise we'll fly over it too fast. The Citation doesn't have an auto throttle, so we have to watch the speed. There's a river running next to it. And the other map has more human. What is it? That's the Bell Forge River running next to Devil's Tower. Interesting. Okay, we'll leave it at this screen because that's the easiest to navigate, and it's only 3 minutes. Perhaps we're gonna switch over to the cockpit again. And it must be somewhere ahead of us. Oh, we're nearing, that's what you get without auto throttle. Almost over speed and busting our speed limit of 250 below 10,000. But anyway, this is not a flight instruction video, it's just to show the navigation capabilities of StraytWay. Flying straight to Devil's Tower, 3 minutes, 15 nautical miles to go. Why don't we start reducing speed a bit? We'll go to flaps 15. Or at least to flap speed. And that'll get us an excellent sightseeing speed, so to speak. So Devil's Tower must be somewhere ahead. If you zoom in, there's nothing there. Give Microsoft some time to render. But we should trust the StraytWay. It's there. It's now 2 degrees to the right, so I'm gonna enter that in the bug. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we keep flying straight to Devil's Tower. How does that look in our belly camera? Wow, this is really the cowboy country. guess. What do you know? Something starts shaping up. StraytWay never misses. Well, at least not in my mind. And that's Devil Tower. Do we have some wind? Yeah, I got 15, tailwind of 50 knots. If we stay the course, we'll pass on the right, which is will be fine, I think. And why don't we let's put out flaps 15 already. Make sure we don't drop too far. Okay, now our nose is better. So there's Devil's Tower. It's only 4.7 nautical miles away, and we'll be there in 1 minute and 20 seconds. That'll be a nice shot. If we switch to StraytWay, you'll see the tourist, the visitor center and stuff. I'll leave it on there, and you can see us pass by. So I focus now on, and you'll see us fly by. Yeah, there we come. Devil's Tower. Beautiful. I'll try and keep the camera fixed to it. The chime you hear, that's StraytWay telling us we have arrived at our destination. And that's Devil's Tower right on top. There you go. Picture back. See if I can take a nice picture for the thumbnail. That would be great. Perfect. There's Devil's Tower. We're not gonna do any more sightseeing. You've seen it, and now we're gonna head over to our runway. So how are we gonna do that? Everything is clear. Well, I'm gonna turn a bit to the left. Why don't we put in? So we go straight to our go-to number 2, and this points to our threshold. So that's where we need to point our bug to. And we had to turn because we're getting into some hairy terrain, and we're already too close to the runway, but it doesn't matter. We're at 2.6 nautical miles, so that's too close to... so we'll fly parallel. That's what I'm doing now. So I'm just turning till we fly... There's a center line at the runway. So we're flying almost over the center line now. Which is of course, so we'll do a left-hand pattern. Yeah. So the runway should be here somewhere. Hold on. Should be somewhere to the left. It's really close to Devil's Tower. Now it's behind us, of course. It's already behind us. Watch the yellow arrow points to our threshold. So the runway should be, there it is. So that's our runway we're gonna land on. And we're gonna do a left-hand pattern. So we'll cross the center line. Let's make it something of a 45-degree angle. And we're gonna fly out and then return. This is our cross. Yeah, consider it our midfield crossing without actually we're crossing the center line at a 45-degree angle. There you go. 45 degrees. And once we are at 4.7, because that's the distance suggested, 4.7. Look at the bottom, the teal number on the left. For this parent altitude is 4.7. Our descent, that's the distance from which we need to descend. So we're gonna make that also our the distance we are, the minimum distance we need to keep from the center line. Okay, just throttling along. That's a very long downwind. We're already now at 6.6 nautical miles from the threshold. And yeah, we'll start flying parallel to the runway, like so. It's all visual. So you know that the magenta line is the center line of the runway. So just fly approximately center to that. And now we are indeed 4.7 nautical miles, so that's perfect. And we'll start turning to the left, circling in a way the threshold. So we'll start doing that now. And how do we circle? Just keep the yellow arrow at right angles to the left till we hit the my view is a bit obstructed, so I have to keep pushing to the looking to the left. So we'll keep turning till the yellow arrow is at 90 degrees, and then we're going to continue that way, keeping it at 90 degrees angles, so abreast to the left, till the magenta line coincides with the yellow arrow, because then we're on the center line of the runway. Watch the 3.3 in the magenta figure, because that's the distance from our center line. If it's 2, then the needle will start moving and we'll need to take drastic turning action. 2.7. And tell you what, already gonna align that we are at least at right angles with the center line. There you go. And watch the needle starts moving, so we're gonna turn aggressively 90 degrees to the left. There we go. Our speed is was good. Yeah, turning. And that should bring us approximately right in course with the runway. And at the correct altitude as well for our approach. Like so. And the runway is... Where's the runway? Now it's already visible. It's 8 nautical miles to the runway. And we are still 7 nautical miles off the center line. So I'm gonna put some right more. Yeah, needle's coming up. I'm gonna reduce speed. And there is the runway. No, there it is. And now StraytWay starts showing a descent angle. So when it's 3, we should start descending, because that's a perfect angle. Gonna drop the gear. Where's the runway? There it is. We're 2.6. And then we're gonna switch to at 3 we'll switch to manual. And then we'll can there you go.
Autopilot.
Full flaps. So StraytWay align is pretty perfect with the not too perfect, but there's still a visual component in it, but we didn't look too much out of the window. And watch the we're almost at the center line of StraytWay. Just need to keep us 2.8. We're a bit low. Ideally we should be at 3. So we need to 800 feet descent. And next time I'm gonna put yeah, now we're at 3. Perfect. Our wind is coming from the left, the right, sorry. "600 feet should be fine," and that's what the citation is saying. So that's okay. Keep it on the green ball. The speed. Be a bit of a challenge, but that's nothing to do with StraytWay. That's to do with my flying skills. Next time I won't be taking real weather anymore. Let's scrap. Wow. That's not a textbook landing, but hey, you're fine. So welcome to Hulett Airport, flaps up, and gonna show you how you can use StraytWay for taxiing. Here it's not really necessary because it's small airport, but I'm gonna show you anyway. So let's suppose we get we turn off here. Yeah, I didn't have the speed of the crosswind. The METAR was not available in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Probably because it's a small airport. But StraytWay got us here on the right pattern altitude, right approach, and it looked pretty good. So suppose you're in a rather complicated airport with a lot of taxiways and stuff. You just forget about the waypoints you put in. Just click on the delete for the markers, the delete button. Now everything we've put in so far, so Devil's Tower and stuff, is it's all has been deleted, and well, now it has been deleted. Let's suppose you have to this crossing. Make sure you don't miss this crossing. Just put your target on there, and then yeah, why don't we change the units to just yards instead of nautical miles? So car miles, statute miles, and why don't we make a little route? So suppose we had to park over here. Go like so. Add this as the last point in your, or as the first point in your route. Then like so, and then like so. And then our turning off point, which is here. Okay, but now we have a problem because the route starts with our parking plates, and it should be reversed the other way around. There's no problem. You can. There's a reverse button in the route at the route line. There's this these double arrows. Just click on it, and now the route has been reversed. If you go to 1, voila. So the line points now to waypoint number 1, which is our turn-off point on the taxiway. Great. Switch back to. Now, if we start moving. Voila. So you always need to move, and then it switches automatically to from the compass of your phone to GPS calculations, which is what you want. You never really want the compass while you're flying. It's 200 miles, yeah, 200 yards. Yeah, well, you can see that visually, but it's just to demonstrate. Or you can use a map. If that's, I bet that's easier because there's a bit of delay between StraytWay and the flight simulator. 270 yards to our turning off point, which is of course here. There we are. Look at the delay, so it takes some time. And in real life, that's not what happens. And then we should turn the use the these guys are waiting for us. Yeah, I'm not gonna let that go. It's too nice. There you are. Yeah. And cut. So if you see where you were, there we were. But you could have followed to the. But I think it's always nice that they're waiting for you. Don't disappoint people if they put in the effort. Doing an excellent job. Okay, I hope that was helpful. You enjoyed Devil's Tower, and see you for the next demonstration of StraytWay in airplanes. See you next time. Bye bye.